Memorial Day. I am here in the shop. Basically, my main project is 792. Got a lot of projects. We're trying to get this one all buttoned up and fixed up, ready to go back on the road. And so this is my main project that I'm working on right now. I don't have any other trucks coming in today, I believe. But it is Memorial Day, and I just wanted to wish everyone a good Memorial's Day. And to all the veterans out there, thank you so much for your service. Maybe you know somebody who has passed away in service, you know, and defending this country, or maybe has served or been on the front lines, or not even in the front lines, just served and contributed to the freedom of this country. I mean, without that, we wouldn't be able to run around and complain and say that we are losing our rights because we can't go to the shopping mall right now. You know, what would it be with life without all the complaining? You know what I mean? But so I want to say very much, that was all a joke there. But I just want to say a very thank you to all the people who have served. I have actually reached out personally to the people that I know have served and thank them there for their service today. They should do the same. And hey, if you're out and about and you see some guy or something, or a woman, and they're wearing a Navy hat, or you know, served in Vietnam or Iraq or whatever hat, maybe you're at a restaurant or something, buy him lunch. Buy him a soda if you're at a gas station. And just say, thanks for your service. You don't even have to say anything. Just secretly do it. Whatever you want to do. It's a big sacrifice these guys make, and these gals, that just say need to be thanked. And this is the one day of the year that's kind of officially set up for it. It should be more often, but today is the day. So I hope everybody's having a good Memorial Day. But Mr. Bossman has made a terrible mistake. I need a little tool. I'm going to be doing some painting and stuff, and he was here this morning. We were discussing something else on the truck, and he was like, you know what? He whipped out his credit card, and he made the mistake of giving me his credit card. And he said, just go get what you need. That was a big mistake. I'll see how long he realizes that I still have his credit card. But I have been after him to get a welder. There's quite a few different jobs just on this truck. There's 1, 2, 3 jobs that if I had a welder, I could take care of it. The one thing is the hood. I will show you guys how I'm going to repair that in the future. But I've explained it to him, and you can buy the new parts and stuff, but it's kind of a big pain in the butt. I'm going to put this credit card down. You can buy all the parts and redo it and stuff, but it'd be quite expensive. I explained to him, okay, as a welder, this is how I'd fix it, and it would be pretty cheap if I had a welder. I keep throwing those at him, and he's like, oh, I'll get you one. Well, today we went shopping. Let's look and see what we got. Well, I got to do, like I said, I got to do some painting. So I just got me one of these things. Are great. They're just little paint guns and everything. They're like 14 bucks from Harbor Freight. They work really good, and I mean, after they get out, you don't have to go crazy on them. It's 14 bucks. After a while, you just can throw them away. Bought some more airline fittings for different stuff that I've been getting. I've been missing my little mini pick toolkit that a subscriber bought me. A couple times it would have been useful, so I bought me just a cheap set for here. This is just an air dryer and a filter and a regulator, a valve that I can hook onto the paint gun so that I can regulate how much pressure is on there. I can do it over here too, but that controls the whole shop. This way it's just on the air gun. And then to keep any kind of moisture or any kind of dirt to get through the air line to get into your paint. That there. Paint strainers. Those are good. I have all the paint. I got it here last time I was here. Color coded it up to one of the trucks. Bunch of different sandpapers. Different grit sandpapers and everything for sanding, for painting, and also for the stuff around here. I bought some memory cloth the other day. got myself, because a lot of drivers, they come in here and they go, I got a coolant leak. It's like, okay, which area is it leaking from? I don't know. I just have to add coolant. I can't believe they don't, you know, they're losing, they know they're having to add coolant, and then when they get up in the morning and they're parked for the night or whatever, when they get up the next day and they do their pre-trip, don't they look around and see if there's, you know, drips and leaks in places and stuff like that, and they can go, oh, it's coming from the passenger side about halfway back or up in the engine compartment, you know, but they don't. So it's really hard when they come in and say that kind of stuff, because, I mean, what is there, 100, 150 coolant, you know, little hose connections and all around on these trucks? It's hard to find it. So we need a radiator pressure tester. That way we can hook it up. You put pressure into the radiator, and if there's a leak any place, then you'll actually be able to spot it. So I got this one here. I'm hoping that the cap, one of these caps, will work for our trucks here. There is another kit that I could have got. It was $150. That one was just $100. It was $150, but then I think that it didn't have the right cap in it. You'd have to buy a cap accessory kit with it, which was another $60. I think that'd be fine. And I bought myself a grinder. He doesn't have one. These are pretty good grinders. I've seen some good reviews on them. So I ended up getting a grinder. There's quite a few times I could use that. And I got a wire wheel attachment that I can put onto it. It's not really the kind I want, but they didn't have it. I'd rather have the cone one. Those are the ones that I kind of like, but this one will work for right now. It is cheap. So I got myself a nice Bauer grinder. And then this is a sanding pad with the flaps that you can really get, you know, take off the paint and everything. Excuse me, a hiccup there. And a grinding wheel for it. And then the star of the show. I think I've kind of blocked it with all my pile there. But there it is. I bought a welder. Nobody tell the boss. Harbor Freight is known for cheaper stuff, you know, stuff like that. I've been researching because I've been wanting to get a new welder, and I've been doing some research and stuff. And I have mostly Miller equipment in my house, but I've seen reviews on YouTube of this Vulcan 220 right here. And this welder right here will do MIG, it will do TIG, it will do stick. It does everything. And I've seen guys do reviews of this thing, and they've actually said it's as good as a Miller welder. It performs right up to par with their Millers. And Miller welders are like over $2,000 for what you get in here. And this one here was only $930. So there was a different welder. I can't remember the name brand. They carry a couple different series of them. It's a green one. I can't remember the name on that welder. But they have a 200 or something like that, it is. And it's a lot smaller. And it will weld pretty close to this. But the rates are not as high. As in, you can't weld as long and stuff, which is not a big deal. It would have worked here, I think, because really I think I'm going to be the only guy welding around here and stuff. But it would have worked, but you can't find one. I called around every store I could find of within about 75-mile radius, every store, and nobody had them. And I actually had to drive an extra 50 miles to go get this one because every place I was going didn't have it. So I picked this one up. Got myself a welding helmet, just a cheap welding helmet. Works fine. You gotta have flames on a welding helmet. They have different versions of them and stuff. There is some nicer one. This one here is pretty good. They do make one that's got a wider field of vision, but it was like $150. It's like $40. So this is fine. It had the same amount of view as the next one up, but it was like red and had different flames on it, but it was like $30 more. And it's like, I don't care really what it looks like, to tell you the truth. For some reason, they always put flames on welding helmets. I don't know why that is. I bought a small package of sticks for stick welding, electrodes. I don't think it's going to be used that much. Basically, that's why I got this one. I wanted to have a stick capability too, is because if we have a cracked frame or something like that, for fixing a frame or something on like a trailer or something real heavy duty, you want to be strong, you really need to be super strong. Stick welding is a very good penetrating weld for that. That's going to be the strongest weld. So I just got a small box, because if you get a big box and they sit around, they actually suck in humidity into them. Once you open the box, they kind of suck humidity into them, and it makes the sticks, the little flux on there, it actually makes it not so good. So I just bought a small box of that, who knows how many. Bought some extra tips for the MIG welding part. Bought a spool gun. I bought a spool gun for this welder. It's 035. It's the kind of wire that I like to use, 035. I've never used Harbor Freight wire. We'll see how it works out. We'll see how that goes. Bought a nice pair of welding gloves. Gotta have a nice pair of welding gloves so you don't get all burned up. And even have the name of the welder on them. Ooh boy, the Vulcan Defender. Bought a nice little cart. It was actually the cheapest one they had there. They actually had another cart that was really flimsy and cheap looking and stuff, and it was like $60 or $50 more than this one. And then they had a really nice cart that had doors on it and all that stuff. Well, we don't need all that. But I got a nice welding cart. That ain't gonna fit. And then here is the welder itself. And this is a nice welder. It has rated output at 110 volts. You can actually take this someplace and plug this into a regular outlet in a house or garage. At 110%, it's 120 volt. It has 40% rated output. It will do like 100 amps, which stick welding, that's fine probably in most of the cases. You get up to like quarter and above, you're going to need maybe more than 100 amps, but anything below that, you're good to go. At 240 volt, which we have a plug right there, it has a rated output of 25% and it's 200 amp. That'll weld anything. So included in it, you get the MIG gun, which I've heard is not the greatest. It's kind of flimsy, the gun itself. But you can actually, I think it's Eastwood, their gun actually will plug right into this and work. And it's a pretty nice high quality gun. It comes with an electrode holder for doing stick welding. For doing TIG, you have to buy the torch additionally beyond this, and also the foot pedal. And then you also have to buy a spool gun if you want it. You don't need a spool gun. I mean, because if you're going to weld, spool guns are for welding aluminum, and you have the TIG capability on this welder, you might as well weld it with a TIG welder if you're going to weld aluminum. It's a much better weld for aluminum. So that is good to go. That's all it comes with it. And it also comes with, let's see, it includes the welder itself, the MIG gun, the electrode holder, the clamp, the negative clamp to put on the thing. It comes with a 10-foot power cord, which I was surprised. I was actually thinking I was going to have to find one or make one or something like that, an extension cord, so I can wheel it over to a truck if I need to weld on a truck or something like that. Because of the 10-foot, it's not going to be long enough. We'd probably need about another, I'd say 20 to 30 feet to get all the way across the shop. 2-inch spindle adapter for different size spools of wire. We're not going to use that. Comes with the flow gauge for the tank. I do not have the tank for it. It's Memorial Day, so everything's closed. Tomorrow I'll go out and get a tank for it so that I can do some welding. Consumables. Contact tips, it comes with the 030. I don't use 030. I don't. I usually use 35. I seem to get better welds out of it. The gas nozzle and gasless nozzle. I don't weld gasless. I don't use a flex core. If you're going to use flex core, you might as well do stick welding. It does come with two small spools. There is a small little spool of flex core wire. If I would happen to catch up on all my projects and can start jumping on other ones and can start welding today, then I could use the flex core stuff if I have to today, if I can get to it. I got so many projects, I'm not going to get to this today. But I am going to open this up today because, hey, this is like Christmas time. And once my boss sees this and everything, all the stuff that I bought, I'm surprised he wasn't sitting here waiting for me when I got back. Because I know he got an email because I use his phone number for the checkout. And every time I get back, he goes, oh, you spent this much. And he reimburses me all the time, but this time he gave me his credit card. It emails him a copy of the receipt when I leave the store. So I'm very surprised he hasn't been at his shop. He must have something going on at home that he's not here. Because I mean, this is a big thing, you know. You buy stuff like this, you get to unwrap it, it's like Christmas. But I am going to need some help for unwrapping this. Because you know what? Johnny the chicken's going to have to help. Because you know why? Well, there's this whole virus thing going on. Oh. I have this in there. Okay. That works. Oh, congratulations. Master Welder Series Vulcan. Yeah, there's different series. These are the best series that they have is the Vulcans. State-of-the-art Vulcan. Basically all these welders are from China and they just kind of have different things to them, painted in different colors. Oh, and there that is. Can you smell it, Johnny? Yeah, I know. What's it smell like? It smells like communism. Big time. Yep. So there we go. So me and Johnny the chicken, we're going to throw together a cart and put the welder on there and kind of stack everything up, kind of check everything I bought. And since it's Memorial Day, I was actually talking to one of the veterans I do know, and he was like, well, hey, what are you doing today? I said, well, doing this, doing that, doing this, you know. He's like, dude, take a day off, you know, working every day, 14, 16 hours a day and stuff. He's like, it's Memorial Day, go out for a picnic, do a barbecue or something. Well, I'm going to. You can't have any. Here, you guard. There you go. Try not to fall over. Whatever. There you go. You guard your welder. So, I'm in my kitchen portion. And there we go. The George Foreman grill. And today, we're going to be making a hamburger. There we go. Got our fixins, some lettuce, some cheese. Got my bun there, some ketchup. We're going to be good to go. Well, guys, we're putting this cart together. It's kind of like IKEA. People buy furniture at IKEA and then they get to build it all. So, I'm going to figure out what to bolt. Be quiet. Johnny's sitting over there reading the directions. You know what, this is what I think of directions. You know that. You'll be okay. Let's see here. Oh, I'm guessing these here bolts. I use, installing stuff like this on, we've got carts and everything else around here. And the boss has been kind of helping putting stuff together and everything too. I think he kind of likes doing it. And I've been telling him, everything you buy, you put together like this. Put Loctite on everything. The caster wheels and all that stuff. I hate having roll carts. And then 6 months later, the wheels come loose on you. You're wheeling underneath a truck or something and all of a sudden a wheel comes loose. Oh, I hate that. They get all wobbly and stuff. They come with little lock washers. This cart's never going to come apart. You know, you're never going to be taking this cart apart. And it comes with little lock washers and stuff that's supposed to hold it, but yeah, I still like putting a little Loctite on there. Oh no, got me down. Here, sit over here and watch. I'll be quiet. Okay, now I got a problem. I don't know where this goes. I got this and this. These two pieces. I guess I gotta look at the instructions. Keep me quiet. Let's see here. Guess. I don't know what it does. What's in here? It sits in there, and then these. Go up through here. People putting something on there. And we just slip the chains in here. These are for putting a tank on the back here, which there's no place open today. So the tank gotta go on here and sit up here like this. You put these chains on here to hold the tank on. Put them around the tank and then you can lock them in. You can shorten them up or whatever size tank you have. Well, I got no parts left. It's a really nice car. I mean, this was the cheapest one they had actually, and it was $99. It's a pretty good price, guys. I mean, you couldn't build it with a metal for $99. They say a lot of scrap stuff sitting around. It's pretty cool too. It came with all these. The bolts were all in this. It was called a tool kit, the Vulcan welding cart toolbox, and all the nuts and bolts were in here. And when you're done, it's a nice little box for putting your nozzles and stuff in for welding, and it sits right here. That's pretty cool, actually. It's a cool little design, and it keeps all the nuts and stuff separate. Here, yeah, we'll look at the last page to make sure. Chains, box, there we go. Parts, yeah. Owner's manual safety instructions. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'm going to start busting out this welder and putting it up here and setting it up. Well, there we go, guys. We're all set up. We got the MIG gun all hooked up. We got it set up for MIG operation right now. I have the main lead coming out of the machine. It plugs into the positive. I don't like, they don't really mark it well. It's up, way up underneath. You got to get way down to see it. This one is negative, this one's positive. You got to change these around for different operations. TIG welding, MIG welding, and for stick welding stuff, you got to change the leads around. You can see with these cam lock things, see what I'm talking about, they turn, they slide out. So they go in and then you turn them, and as you turn them, they tighten. They feel pretty good. I like them. This is the gas hookup for the TIG. That's where you hook up your gas lead for your TIG. So it feeds the gas out. We got our negative clamp right here, put on there. I just hung the stick welding lead on there, and I just put the gauge right there. It's a nice little gauge. I like that gauge. And then I just hung up this Bauer grinder that I bought. Put it there, put a grinder wheel on it. Got the welding helmet hanging there. You could put this for hang your TIG torch and stuff like that on there. Got the gas regulator all ready for a tank. I'll grab a tank tomorrow. Johnny's along for the ride. Got the power lead right here hooked up, and it's all hanging there to plug into the wall. You can see inside the machine. Got the spool gun up there, but I'm not going to plug in until I get the gas and everything. You can, it would be no big deal, but yeah, just wait for tomorrow. But I got the bigger spool. This is an 11 pound, I think it is. Yeah, it's an 11 pound roll in there. This is that button I was talking about, cold wire feed. Press it and it'll feed through for 3 seconds. There's directions on how to go through all the different TIG, MIG, and stick settings, how to set the thing up. But I'm going to read the manual on it. Down below here, got our welding gloves. Here's that 110 volt cable. A couple extra different grinding wheels for the grinder I got on there. One's the flap and the other one's a wire. Like I said, I don't like that wire. And then I'll keep those extra wires, those extra spools down there. I do like this. You can close the cover. On my Miller one, I even have a Miller table that I bought, a roll cart just like this. Mine's a lot higher. This one's kind of low, but it's alright. But when you close the door, you can't, it won't close. It always hits the side of the thing. You got to lift the welder up to get it to close. So there you go. Silly boss man, leave me his credit card. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to pack this up. I'm going to throw away all my garbage. I'll keep the box until I actually get the tank and turn it on. I'll give it a try tomorrow, make sure everything's working properly, but we'll keep the box till then. But the instructions, those will be going home with, they'll be going in my truck tonight. I'll be doing some reading. But there you go. So I hope everyone out there is having themselves such a great Memorial Day. And if you're not, well, I can always just try that all over again tomorrow. And once again, veterans, thank you for your service. Thank you. Bye-bye.